Ladies and gentlemen, today, I want to talk to you about something that lies at the heart of every human experience, something that is both universal and deeply personal. It's something we often think of as a skill or a talent, but it is so much more than that. It's the power that drives innovation, transforms lives, and helps us make meaning in the world. I'm talking about creativity. We often think of creativity in narrow terms. We associate it with artists, musicians, designers, those who make things that we can see, hear, or touch. But creativity isn't just something for the artists or the gifted. It's a fundamental part of being human. Creativity is not confined to a canvas, a stage, or a studio. It is an essential force that moves through everything we do, whether we're cooking dinner, solving a problem at work, or raising children. In fact, creativity is a way of being. It's an approach to life that allows us to engage with the world around us with an open heart and an open mind. It's a way of seeing beyond the ordinary, of recognizing patterns, of listening deeply, and of trusting that there is more to the world than meets the eye. And the beautiful thing is, we all have access to it. Every single one of us. Imagine that creativity is a river. It flows through everything, the natural world, our relationships, our work, our dreams. It is ever present, moving constantly, shaping everything it touches. The challenge is not to create it, but to become aware of it, to tap into its current. The problem many of us face is that we get caught up in the noise of everyday life. We become distracted, overwhelmed by responsibilities, and trapped in a cycle of doing without really being. We lose sight of creativity's natural flow and begin to think it's something we have to force, something we have to manufacture. But here's the truth: creativity doesn't come from forcing, controlling, or pushing. Creativity comes from surrendering, from stepping back and letting the current take us where it will. It's not about imposing our will on the world, it's about listening to the whispers that already exist in the universe and allowing them to guide us. The first step in the creative process is not action, it's receptivity. Think about a great work of art. Whether it's a painting, a piece of music, a novel, or even an architectural wonder, it didn't start with a rigid plan or a clear outcome. It started with an openness to possibility. The creator wasn't trying to force something into existence, they were simply listening to what the work wanted to become. This is something we can all do in our lives. Creativity doesn't require us to have all the answers or a rigid, fixed path. It requires us to let go of the need for certainty and embrace the unknown. Being creative means stepping into uncertainty with an open heart and mind. It means being willing to not know where things will lead and trusting that the journey itself is where the magic lies. When you stop trying to control the outcome and simply allow yourself to be present in the process, the work takes on a life of its own. One of the most underrated aspects of creativity is observation. Every day, we are surrounded by countless sources of inspiration. From the changing light outside our window to the conversations we overhear in coffee shops, there is so much to observe. But we often don't take the time to notice. We rush through life, caught in our routines, only to realize too late that we've missed out on all the richness that surrounds us. Think about the natural world. Every tree, every rock, every stream has a story to tell, if we only take the time to observe it. The same is true for the people around us, our families, our friends, our coworkers. The most remarkable things often happen when we open our eyes to what is right in front of us. Observation doesn't require talent or genius. It simply requires attention. The more you observe, the more you begin to see connections between things. You start to notice patterns, you start to hear things that were previously hidden, you start to see ideas form in the spaces between things. Observation is one of the most powerful creative tools we have, and it's available to everyone. Another key element of creativity is the ability to surrender to the process. This is where many people get stuck. They start a creative project or endeavor with a vision of what they want to achieve, but then they become too attached to that outcome. They become rigid, perfectionistic, and frustrated when things don't go according to plan. But the creative process, much like life, is rarely linear. It's full of twists, turns, and unexpected detours. Creativity is not about sticking rigidly to a preconceived plan. It's about allowing the work to unfold, to evolve, and to surprise you along the way. You might start a project with one idea in mind, but as you work, you discover something new that takes you in a completely different direction. This is the magic of creativity, the ability to surrender to the unknown and trust that something meaningful will emerge, even if it's not what you originally envisioned. It's easy to fall into the trap of perfectionism and fear of failure, but the truth is that failure is often an essential part of the creative journey. We must be willing to fail, to make mistakes, and to learn from them. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of success. Without failure, there is no growth, no discovery, no true creativity. Another aspect of the creative process that is often overlooked is collaboration. Creativity doesn't always have to be a solitary endeavor. In fact, some of the most groundbreaking ideas and works of art have come from collaboration. When people with different skills, experiences, and perspectives come together, something powerful happens. Collaboration requires humility, listening, and the ability to put aside your ego. But it also opens up the potential for new ideas, unexpected breakthroughs, and more expansive creative possibilities. Working together allows each person to contribute something unique, and through that interaction, something greater is born. Great collaborations are built on trust that the other person's ideas are just as valuable as your own. And sometimes, collaboration doesn't even mean working with others physically, it can mean tapping into the wisdom of others, from books, podcasts, mentors, or simply conversations that spark new insights. Creativity and the cycles of life. Like the seasons of nature, creativity is cyclical. There are times when we feel full of energy, eager to create and make things happen. There are other times when we feel drained, uninspired, or even stuck. And that's okay. Creativity is not something that happens on demand. It ebbs and flows. It's important to recognize the cycles of creative energy and not to judge ourselves for moments of rest or stagnation. Just as the body needs rest between periods of exertion, so does the creative mind. Creativity requires balance. There are times to act, to work, to create, but there are also times to reflect, to rest, and to simply be. Recognize that rest is not the absence of creativity. In fact, it's often during moments of stillness and quiet that the next great idea emerges. Creativity cannot be forced, it must be allowed to come in its own time. Ultimately, creativity is not just something we do. It's who we are. When we embrace creativity as a way of being, we open ourselves to a life full of possibility and wonder. We begin to see the world with new eyes, to approach challenges with curiosity, and to find beauty in the smallest moments. Creativity doesn't have to look like anything specific. It can be as simple as making a meal with love, finding a solution to a problem, or engaging deeply with the people in our lives. Every moment is an opportunity for creativity, not just in art or business, but in how we engage with the world and each other. Living creatively means choosing to approach life with openness, with a willingness to explore, to take risks, and to embrace the unknown. It means giving ourselves permission to make mistakes, to try again, and to trust that the journey itself is the reward. So, I invite you to embrace the creative act as a way of being. Open your heart and mind to the flow of inspiration that surrounds you. Listen to the world with greater awareness. Let go of the need for control and trust the process. Collaborate with others. Rest when you need to. And above all, recognize that creativity is not a gift bestowed on a select few, it is a force that belongs to everyone, waiting for us to tap into it. The world is full of beauty, innovation, and untold possibilities. The creative act is within you, ready to be lived, ready to shape the future. Embrace it and watch as you begin to see the world and yourself through a new lens.